Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening all over the world. Here we go. We all meet together to talk about mChoice Vishma, our very first initial kickoff meeting. So before start anything, anybody has an idea of what is Vishma? What Vishma means? Yes?
It's an application store.
We are not going to that detail. What does the word Vishma mean?
Something
Something
amusing.
amusing, something surprising or mind-blowing. So this is a Sanskrit word, if I am correct. So the mChoice Vishma is kind of amazing project, we will call, which my colleague Santhan would be explaining in a while. So let's get into some of the logistics detail. We're going to have the initial requirement session first, and then there are a few UIs Santhan will be browsing for you. Then we'll get into the architectural detail of Vishma, and then the plans, how we're going to move on with this project. Questions, anytime you can raise your hands and ask, and let's action. This is Mr. Santhan, who is our business architect and one of those pioneers of this Vishma project, will be explaining you the rationale and some of the requirements and of course the UIs of mChoice Vishma. Over to Santhan.
Okay, thanks JK. That was sort of an accelerated intro. And so JK, so guys, everybody, let me take through the requirements of Vishma. So in order to talk about the requirements of Vishma, first of all, what I want to do is talk about application stores. We live in an era where application stores have become so common. It all started with Apple, if I'm not mistaken. Apple started an application store, and we saw that it became a major hit out there. So it was a really big hit. And then we had seen all the other mobile vendors out there. People who develop mobile devices had taken to application stores in a very big way. So we have seen Android coming into it, we've seen Nokia coming out with its own application store and so forth. So that, if you look at the market, now we have a variety of application stores. So when everybody has an application store, the operators automatically wanted to have an application store. And we see most of the major operators out there now want to introduce or already have an application store. So the interesting thing is now even the smaller players want to have an application store. And at the GSMA there was a good development where we saw 24 operators coming together to form an alliance to come out with an application store. So we see a lot of activity happening with respect to application store, and it's happening in a very isolated way still. So mChoice Vishma is going to be an open source application store. That's the most important thing that we want to convey. It's going to be an application store, so it will be reachable to everybody. It will be open source. It will be developed and released under the GPL licensing. So that's the vision of the project in very short. So first we need to understand why we need application stores, because then only we can go to build application stores. Of course, some say that the concept of application stores is a little bit more hyped. So when we try to understand why people need application stores, we see three reasons for it. One is to enable a long tail. Now what happened with Apple? They came up with an application store and allowed all the developers to develop application. And then if you are a developer, you can go develop your own application and come and put it on the application store so that you can find a market. So you might build an application which might reach around 25 to 30 people. But still, for that developer, it might be profitable. There might be others. Corporates also trying to develop applications. They might come up with applications which might sell for hundreds or thousands of people. But in the ecosystem of an application store, all these different applications will exist together. So that's enabling long tail. So what application stores have done is enabled an important element of the long tail. When you have a long tail model in the digital economy, you need to allow people to very easily search for things. So this had enabled the long tail. So that's number one. The second important thing is we need the crowd behind the applications. So let's say if I'm an application developer, I go and publish my application on a store, I might want to get feedback from the community. I should allow people to come and rate the application. So on another day when somebody wants to subscribe to a certain type of application, let's assume you want to find the breaking news application. There might be 10 people or 10 media houses providing a breaking news application. If the application store is there, you can go into this, look at the listing, see which is the most rated one, most commented one, and see which has the most amount of reviews, and then subscribe to it. So we need the crowd behind it. So the application store becomes a venue where the crowdsourcing would happen automatically, and it can be taken in two ways. One, as a marketing platform. Second, as a feedback for the developer. So he gets instant feedback from the community itself. So it's harnessing the power of community happens with an application store. The third thing is, as I told you, it's a marketing platform. It's a level playing field. Even a major competitor has the same opportunity. Even a small player has the same opportunity when you have an application store. Everybody gets that publishing. Everybody gets the equal chance. It's up to you to prove how hit your application will become. So those are the reasons why people want to bring in the application store. This is what we see as some common features of application stores. All the application stores, as we see, you might have other opinions on this, but mostly application stores need to have this sort of features. You should be able to search. So let's say I want to find, if I'm interested in soccer, if I want to find all the applications related to Manchester City, I should be able to go and search Manchester City and get all the applications related to it. So searching is one feature. The second way, there should be categorization. So when you want to categorize, you want to go and categorize under a certain sport or entertainment, jokes. So there are many ways of categorizing. Or you might want to go and tag the application, where you want to allow people to go and tag the application. So basically tagging and categorization, that is a common feature that you find. There might be variations of it internally, but still you find categorization. Then you find rating, where people go and rate. I give 5 stars to it, so there's a star system. There might be other systems of rating. You give thumbs up. So there are many ways of doing the same thing, but conceptually it's a rating that happens. And then basically we have user generated content. So when you list an application, you might want people to come and comment. You might want people to do reviews. You might want people to write reviews or expert reviews, and then basically you allow people to do other things, right? If I'm not mistaken, you allow the feedback to come for an application. So there's a lot of user generated content which will happen around an application. So this is what we see as some of the common features of application stores, which we think that should be taken out, and we can categorize it as a separate feature.